Fallout 4 is a game with a lot of different companions that you can bring along with you on your journey. But if you're able to think a little bit outside of the box, you can have companions that no one at Bethesda ever thought possible. And that is why today we will be asking the question, can you beat Fallout 4 while being followed by Billy the Kid? Before we can get our hands on Billy though, we need to make our character. And this one might be some of my finest work yet. Don't even lie, you've never seen a mustache this impressive in your whole life. I named him Bob the Dad because that's who he is, and for his special stats gave him high luck for that sweet idiot savant XP, used endurance and intelligence as dump stats, and went for a pretty balanced build for everything else. With that done, I went to go calm my baby down, but my game crashed. Thanks, Todd. I guess this does mean we have an opportunity to name our character again though. This time, instead of naming the man, I named the stash. It is called the Beast, and it will utterly annihilate anything and anyone in our path. This time around, the game let me play with the miniature little baby Bob, but the bombs dropped, so I headed down into the vault and got in my little cryogenic front row seat to watch my wife get shot and my son get kidnapped. I'm a bit upset about the whole kidnapping thing. The murdered wife doesn't bother me, really, but the kidnapping, I don't like the kidnapping. So it is time for me to fight through the radroaches, leave the vault. And I could go after my son here, but that sounds like a lot of work. So instead, I'm going to run all the way across the map and find a replacement son instead. On the journey, I discovered a location near Diamond City, so that should be great for fast travel later. On top of that, I leveled up and grabbed my beautiful idiot savant. I also died because being at level 2 makes it quite difficult to survive being anywhere near a Mr. Gutsy. Horrific death aside, I made it to the fridge that holds my new son with no issues, and released the ugly little guy. And he wants to go look for his mum and dad, but that is just not going to happen. So I fast traveled back to Vault 111, hoping that Billy is still with me. And he is. We can fast travel with Billy. This is great news, but in Concord, I came across some less fortunate news. Inside the Museum of Freedom, I could not find Billy. My theory is that this means that he will follow me around, but won't enter any interiors. So I fought through the raiders, trying to manifest finding Billy again when I leave. Because if he isn't there, this will be a very short video. Getting through the raiders to the Minutemen was really easy because I'm not doing a challenge where I have to only use a specific weapon or can't heal or anything like that. So, after talking to them, I headed up to the roof to grab my power armor and search for Billy. It's not looking good. The Deathclaw has come and gone, and still there's no sign of him. I was about to give up hope when, out of the darkness, he came running back to me. The little guy was just hiding from all the violence. Seems like this challenge should be doable after all. Unfortunately, my brain is infected with maggots and leaking out of my ears, so I went and talked to Preston and decided to help escort the Minutemen back to Sanctuary. So that was an absolutely thrilling time. At least the posse includes Billy today. You wouldn't believe this, but in Sanctuary, Preston tells me that there is a settlement that needs my help. That's cool, but instead of helping them, I'm just gonna go run straight to Park Street Station to rescue Nick Valentine so I can progress the main quest instead. Clearing the station wasn't too hard. I did have some trouble remembering to heal because I got kind of used to just eating my enemies to heal back in my cannibal video. But I relearned healing pretty quickly and made it all the way through to Nick without too much trouble. he's willing to help me out in finding my missing son as soon as we get out of here. But I don't really care about that. I just miss my real son, Billy, and can't wait to get out of here and see him again. Our last obstacle to get out of here is Skinny Malone and his friends. I tried to grab a first aid kit I could see nearby before we started the fight, but that didn't go so well. Using charisma to get past also didn't go so well, so I tried attacking in a less aggressive way, and that worked out much better. It was great to see Billy again, but I fear that he won't be able to follow me into Diamond City and we will be apart again. But I was wrong. Diamond City seems to be the one interior that Billy is allowed to be in, which is just such a pleasant surprise. At the detective agency, I let Nick know that Kellogg looks a lot like Kellogg, and he managed to piece together, through his intimidating powers of deduction, that it might have been Kellogg that kidnapped my son, and that we should look around his house for clues. I stole the key for the house right out of the mayor's pockets and found the cigars that Kellogg smells like. I could get dog meat to lead the way to him, but my nose is far stronger. I was able to sniff out a kid in a fridge from the other end of the map, after all. The journey went pretty well, outside of a little incident with the Yaguai that I had without quick saving that made me start the journey again from the beginning. But I'm here now, at Fort Hagen, and I've got some robots to kill. I've decided I want to use my 10mm pistol as my main weapon for this playthrough, but I kind of am already almost out of ammo for it, so for a lot of this battle, I ended up using a whole host of different weapons as well, like the double-barrel shotgun and the submachine gun, and more. They were fun, but for ammo-related reasons, I ended up settling with the Institute pistol instead. And my god, I forgot just how enormous these things are. I feel like calling a gun that takes up half the screen a pistol shouldn't be allowed. But what do I know? Ugly gun and missing the presence of my boy Billy aside, this is going pretty well. I haven't actually spec'd into my 10mm build very much, so the Institute pistol isn't that much worse than it. And for Kellogg, I made sure to save some ammo for my submachine gun, and that, on top of just about every chem in the game, got the job done quick, easy, not so clean, but quick and easy. His head has a hole in it now, so I stuck a hand in and grabbed a chunk out just in case I need it later. My next move is to discuss my next move with Piper and Nick back at Diamond City, and what do you know? That chunk of brain I took should give me the ability to look through Kellogg's memories, which is something I want to do so badly. I have to head to the memory den in Good Neighbor to do this, and I received a lovely welcome at the front gate. I had hoped that Billy would be able to follow me in here as well though, but he can't. So he's just going to have to wait outside while I head straight for Dr. Amari to make her do this weird invasive procedure that no one involved really wants anything to do with. The memory section is boring. I know this, you know this, the whole world knows this. So I won't bore you with the details. I'll just go straight to the edge of the glowing sea to find out more about how I can teleport into the Institute from Virgin. It felt kind of cruel bringing my son through the glowing sea with me, but seeing as he's a ghoul, the radiation doesn't bother him. The giant monsters chasing us do, they really bother him, but the radiation doesn't. My 2 legs are faster than the 16 legs of the 2 rat scorpions chasing me though, so I made it through to Virgin's cave, and he told me that in order to get a teleporter into the Institute up and running, I'm going to need to take out a Corsair and help him cure his super mutantness. I'm not going to do that second bit, and for now, I'm not going to do that first bit either. Instead, I'm going to help out a settlement for the Minutemen, because I'm going to need their help to build this teleporter. To put it simply, I made sure that the good people of Ten Pines Bluff will never, ever need help again, and headed back to Preston so that I can be made General of the Minutemen for all my hard work. And with that done, it's time for Billy and I to head over to Green Tech Genetics to take out a Corsa for its delicious barbecue flavoured chip. Fighting through the gunners on the way up should have been super easy, but I have a bit of a skill issue that was on full display here for some reason, and I died not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but 4 times on this fight up that I've done a million times before. Which is just, it's so embarrassing to have to say that. On the bright side, the Corsa didn't cause any problems, because the power of chems always triumphs over the power of evil. With my barbecue chip in hand, it's time to move on to the next stage in my plan. Getting the chip decoded by the railroad over at the Old North Church. Usually, I try to avoid the ghouls in the church when I'm doing these challenge runs because they just aren't worth the effort to kill. So it was really nice to actually be able to fight them all this time. I even got a legendary drop, and it was a Sentinel's boxing glove. So I feel very lucky right now. I managed to convince the railroad to decode the chip using my skills of charisma and Deacon's skills at vouching for me. So I watched Tinkler Tom get that done and left with the decoded data, never to even witness another railroad member again. I checked in on Virgin and got him to draw up some teleporter plans for me. I then took the plans back to Sturgis and he says he should be able to build it. But what he really means is that I should be able to build it. I'm excited to be building something with Billy. It's a really good bonding experience. We did have to run down to the shops quickly for a biometric scanner, but that's fine. The more time I spend with him, hopefully the less time he spends talking about how much he misses his mum and dad and complaining that we're going the wrong way to find them. Anyway, with the teleporter complete, all that's left to do is say goodbye to Billy and teleport into the Institute. My first task in here is to use a network scanner holotape that Sturgis gave me to steal all of the Institute's data. Next, I found my old son, but it turns out he's a robot, which is wild. The Institute built me a replacement son, even though I just ended up getting my own replacement son. Next, my actual son showed up, but he is old now, so I definitely do not want him anymore. I did agree to meet all of the Institute department heads though, because why not? It gives me XP and that can only help. And once I finished that up, I left the Institute and headed back to Sanctuary. My next job is to decide which faction I want to side with today. And I think that the Minutemen would probably be the best, because as far as I can tell, they are the faction where you spend the most time in the open world while working for them, which means I can maximize the amount of time that I spend with Billy. One problem, to start working towards the Minutemen ending, I need to be an enemy of the Institute. So I teleported back in there, shot a random scientist in the head and rode the elevator up to the emergency exit before the synths could even touch me. And just like that, I am an enemy of the Institute. The first thing I need to do for the Minutemen is recruit 4 settlements into our organization. I could bore you with details on each one of them, but I'm not quite that cruel, so I'll just quickly skim through who we've recruited to the course. I set up a radio beacon at Starlight Drive into Lewisham Settlers Inn, fixed the water supply for the robots at Grey Garden, built another radio beacon in Sunshine Tidings Co-op, and secured the Taffington Boathouse workbench from some nasty little insects for the settlers of Oberland Station. And with all these settlements supporting us, Preston has decided that it is time to take back the castle from the crabs that have been living there and make the Minutemen a powerful force in the Commonwealth once again. I am aware of the fact there will be a Mirelurk Queen at the castle, so before heading there, I went to Diamond City to stock up on ammo, because you'd have to be kind of an idiot to not do that before a major fight like this. At the castle, I told the Minutemen to set up a firing line while I draw the Mirelurks out. And that's exactly what we did. It was effective as hell, and in my personal opinion, is the best of the different strategies that you're able to use for this fight. Next up, some egg clearing. But before I could finish that, Mummy Mirelurk herself emerged from the water. I was expecting this to be a really hard fight, but I was lucky enough to have an amazing position up on the ramparts to completely destroy the stupid oversized crustacean from. Now, I just need to get the castle's radio up and running again, so that the Minutemen can spread their message to anyone who needs to hear it. Then, I need to figure out what to do next. The Form Ranks quest says I still need to recruit more settlements, so I suppose Billy and I are going to have to run around tending to settlements that need our help for a little while longer. This time around, I set up a radio beacon at Outpost Simondra, which was a little tricky because one of the raiders there kind of had a fat man, but I did manage to take him out and put the beacon right down once he was dealt with. Next, I helped the settlers at Nordhagen Beach deal with a raider problem, set up yet another radio beacon at Hangman's Alley, and helped the Nordhagen Beach settlement deal with another group of raiders. But once that was done, Preston gave me an actually important task. The Minutemen at the castle need to see me about some kind of task that needs completing over there. At the castle, I had a chat with Ronnie Shaw while Billy lurked behind me ominously. She tells me that the castle has an armory that should be able to help us get an artillery network up and running. That sounds great, so I cleared out some rubble and went down into the tunnels beneath the castle. I thought taking out Sarge would be a problem, but I was very wrong. Using a bunch of chems to take out a strong enemy is a technique that really does never fail me. And with him out of the way, there's nothing to stop me from raiding the ever-loving shit out of the armory and building myself a wonderful shiny artillery cannon. Now, I just have to give the cannon a quick test fire and head back to Preston, probably just so he can send me and Billy to help out some more settlements. Wait, what's this? The castle is under attack? That's some good news. That means that I am done with helping settlements for this video, and with any luck, my next few Fallout 4 videos as well. Defending the castle is going to be a big fight, and I'm probably going to burn through a lot of ammo, so I'd be an idiot if I didn't go and buy some more ammo before the fight. But I didn't buy more ammo, and I also didn't have enough resources to set up more than one turret at the castle. So this fight is going to be an absolute nightmare. The start of the battle, where I've got plenty of ammo, wasn't so bad. But as my 10mm pistol ran empty, I was driven to more and more desperate ways to kill the synths. It's not just the sheer quantity of synths that I underestimated, it's the amount of courses that are here, and the amount of ammo that it takes to take just one of those bastards out. Now, would it have been possible for me to load a save from before I went to defend the castle and top up on ammo then? Yeah, but I feel such shame for being dumb enough to not do that in the first place that I decided that I'm going to force myself through this absolute ordeal as some kind of sick and twisted punishment for not buying ammo. Eventually, after 25 minutes straight of combat, which might not sound like a lot, but trust me, it felt like an eternity, I defeated all the synths and am able to move on to the next and final part of this playthrough. Sturgis has decoded the data I gave him way earlier, and he has found a tunnel that I can access from the surface that will lead me right into the Institute. Unfortunately, that will involve being in interiors for quite a while, which means I will be apart from my sweet Billy for quite a while. But before I leave for the sewer pipe I need to go through, I think I should maybe make sure to buy some ammo this time around. And I may have gone a little overboard here. I spent almost all of my caps on ammo, but it's not like I'm going to need the caps for anything after this fight is done, so it doesn't really matter that much anyway. And with my ammo count replenished, I may as well head right into the tunnel and get this over with so I can go back to Billy. Getting through the sewer tunnels was nice and easy. I even used my laser pistol as my main weapon when I had to fight through here, to conserve 10mm ammo just in case I need it later. Once I made it to the Institute, I loaded a holotape into the teleporter, and some Minutemen reinforcements, including Preston and Sturgis, arrived to help me. I wish Billy could have been there as well, but unfortunately, for some reason, the people at Bethesda didn't see someone wanting that coming. Preston then gave me an explosive to put on the Institute's reactor to destroy their whole facility, and told me that I need to make sure to issue an evacuation order before I use it to let any scientists that want to get out of here before this place explodes, get out of here. To get to the reactor, I need to fight my way through the old robotics area. I mean, I'm meant to fight my way through the old robotics area, but I am an enlightened soul that is aware of the fact that you can very easily just sprint through here, skipping the entire section of the final battle. So I just did that instead, because every second I am away from Billy makes me feel like the weight of the world is crashing down on top of me. I thought that I would be able to just run through to Father's room to disable the lockdown in this next section, but it turns out that the game is actually going to make me clear out all of the synths in this central area before I do that. Once the room was cleared though, I went up to Father, hit a trick shot on him, and disabled the lockdown so that I can head through advanced systems and get to the reactor room. I did fully intend to fight through this whole room, taking out all of the security, but when the synth in charge blew my legs off, something in me changed. I need to get back to Billy in one piece, and I won't let wanting to destroy my enemies more thoroughly get in the way of that. So I put the fusion pulse charge right on the reactor and defended myself until I got teleported to the teleporter. At the teleporter, this disgusting little robotic replacement child started begging for me to let him come with me out of the Institute, but he has already been replaced by a much better and less robotic kid. So I tried fruitlessly to shoot his head off and teleported out of the Institute, leaving him and oh shit, I forgot to give the evacuation order. I was kind of too busy trying to 360 Father, and I completely forgot. Oh well, I'll turn the whole place into a giant crater anyway, starting the game's end cutscene and successfully beating Fallout 4 while being followed by Billy. This could be the end of the video, but Billy still won't shut up about how he misses his parents and wants to go home, so it's time to take him home and reunite him with his parents. They are actually still alive, which is good, and they're all very happy to see each other. I even helped them fight off some mean guy who wanted to have Billy for himself. But you know what? I think I'm actually starting to get a little bit jealous of all the attention Billy is giving his parents, and I might have to do something about it. So I killed his parents, and with that done, I walked off, free from the burden of children, and comforted by the knowledge that I just beat Fallout 4 while being followed by Billy the Kid. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you liked the video, like it, and if you want to see more videos like it, check out my channel or just subscribe. See ya.